Good morning. My name is Abhishek Nair and I represent the team Logic Guccifer. This is our presentation for the Logic Locking Conquest competition. We split the task of breaking logic locking into two separate steps. The first step is the identification of additional logic used for locking the circuit using the Solomon framework, and the second step is identification of the unlocking key sequence using fault analysis attacks. It is important to note that our proposed solution requires access to the Oracle circuit. That is, it is an Oracle based attack. I now move on to the first step of our proposed algorithm, which is the identification of additional logic used for locking the circuit. As can be seen in this diagram, we take the obfuscated netlist and the original or the Oracle netlist and generate the abstract tree syntax for each of them. This abstract syntax tree is then converted into SAT clauses. These SAT clauses are eventually compared in order to identify the additional logic locking gates inserted. These additional gates may be the flip-flops or the combinational gates inserted. I now move on to a more detailed explanation of each of these steps. The first step is the abstract syntax tree generation. The Solomon framework automatically generates the abstract syntax tree for the original and the obfuscated netlists. This abstract syntax tree is necessary because the same function can be implemented in different ways by different algorithms. For example, a particular function may operate at a byte level or at a 128-bit word level. The second step is the generation of SAT clauses. The Solomon framework generates SAT clauses from the abstract syntax tree by parsing it in a bottom to top manner and generating SAT clauses for each node incrementally. The third and final step to identify additional logic is the comparison of the SAT clauses in the original design and the obfuscated design. The procedure we follow is as follows. The first step is to take a flip-flop in the original design and generate its SAT clause. We then compare this SAT clause with the SAT clauses for every flip-flop in the obfuscated design. At least one flip-flop in the obfuscated design must match at least partially the SAT clause of this flip-flop. This is because there will exist one flip-flop in the obfuscated design that performs the exact same function as the flip-flop in the original design when it is unlocked. After having identified this flip-flop in the obfuscated design, we continue this procedure and eventually obtain a map or a correspondence between the flip-flops in the original design and the flip-flops in the obfuscated design. We have now effectively identified the additional logic inserted because those flip-flops which do not have any corresponding match in the original design are the flip-flops inserted by the logic locking mechanism. Now I move on to the second part, which is the identification of the unlocking key sequence. We use fault analysis attacks to identify the key sequence. We first apply random patterns to the obfuscated and the original circuit and compare the Boolean values observed in both of them. We next induce faults on the previously identified logic locking flip-flops and backtrace these faults to the primary inputs. Thus, we are able to use SAT solvers again to identify the unlocking key sequence and thereby break the logic locking scheme. Thank you very much.